East Podcast, WATP.
Opie's doing an interesting thing on his YouTube channel lately that I've been picking up on. And I think I picked up on this because I was watching Patrick Melton talk about how Chad does a thing with his YouTube channel where every video he puts up, he just makes members only. And so Opie, you can see he's got a few videos, and then it's like members only on a lot of these videos. And one of the reasons for doing that is that it makes it so you can't see the view count. Because the view count on a lot of these videos is pretty embarrassing unless it's about Anthony or Jim or something. But then I discovered something else I guess I should have known about. So if you go to Opie's live stuff, I mean, everything is members only. So he does these streams, and if you don't watch it that day, it's gone, right? But then you go to check out Opie Unleashed NYC, the YouTube channel that everyone's talking about. Mm-hmm. And I thought this was supposed to be him walking around Manhattan with his Zoom recorder and cell phone out. But now look what's going on. All of his live stuff is living here and still available. So this is like his strategy to build up this channel. It's just his podcast now. Yeah. It's all the same content as his other channel.
He could be unleashed in his house.
I don't think that's true. I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you on that.
Yeah,
Doesn't even make sense.
This channel has less subscribers, so that makes sense.
Nope.
Oh, really?
just the opposite.
Wait.
Actually, makes just the opposite.
Carry the 3.
All right, so Opie had Steve Grillo has been making the rounds. He was on Anthony's radio show Sunday night, and he's at Gebhard's with Opie. Of course, he's promoting his new book, where it's about being an intern on the Howard Stern show in the 90s. New book. Just came out. But anyway, so Opie's got a great question for him about Howard Stern's paranoia, since Grillo was behind the scenes there.
Can you talk about Howard's paranoia? Because I got a Howard paranoia story that we fell into.
Do
you know about the snipers?
No, I don't know about the snipers.
All
right, so Opie goes, can you tell me about his paranoia? And then cuts him off and he goes, do you know about the snipers? And Opie wants to go into his story about Howard's paranoia. So this wasn't really an interview with Grillo. Also, mic'd horribly. I apologize for the audio. It is what it is.
They're holding microphones. Mm-hmm. Why can't we hear them at all? It sounds like a basement. What's going on there?
Well, part of the problem is
it is a basement.
The SM58s are built for stage performances with a lot of loud music behind you. It really only picks up a very small range in front of the microphone. It's built that way specifically so that you can have a drummer behind you and it doesn't pick it up in feedback.
It's called an omnidirectional.
Omnidirectional.
Uni and omni, yeah.
Correct. And so these should not be used for broadcasting. It's why broadcasters, except for Ray DeVito, it doesn't use a microphone like this. It's not the right microphone to use for it. So Opie wants to talk about his story with how Howard Stern is paranoid. And by the way, Opie put this video out himself. It is called Sniper Paranoia Exposed with 2 exclamation points. So this is like some clickbait shit. All right. Sniper Paranoia Exposed. Remember, this is going to get exposed. But first, Grillo's going to talk about how, well, actually what his paranoia was being out in public because Howard's very recognizable, very tall. He's going to get if he's walking around in Manhattan, people are going to mob him. Opie makes this about him. He's got a story.
Paranoia, like about walking in the streets.
I don't blame him for that. He was beyond famous.
He's also 6'5" and he's bigger than everybody else.
I remember. Whoa. I remember when we were doing pretty well for ourselves, and I absolutely would get recognized a lot.
Yeah.
But I realized that he was on another fucking planet.
Yeah.
I happened to be in Central Park on a bike or something, and he was walking home through the park. I forgot who he was with, but it might have been Ralph, actually.
Yeah.
For real. It was unbelievable how much he got recognized. Like it was because he's so tall and he was very, very famous.
So Opie's story, after Grillo goes, oh yeah, if he walks around, he gets recognized. He's very tall and recognizable. Opie goes, oh, I'll do you one better. I once saw him and he was very tall and was recognized a lot. So it wasn't about like working in the same building, having the same profession, competing. Just another guy who lives in Manhattan who saw
Just Sunday
Stirred.
afternoon.
Just, yeah. Hey, I got a story for that. I saw Howard and people recognize him. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was just, okay, cool. Thanks for adding that.
Why is his guest behind him? So he has to put his back to the camera to ask them questions. We can't
so
see him.
awkward.
We can't hear him. What is
Adam,
the...
here's a better question. Why is this guest sitting on a keg? They don't even bring stools and shit. Like, there are parts of the show, because you see all those chuckle fucks in the background there?
Yeah.
He brings each of these people in, and multiple people at a time, and they're sharing microphones. They're sitting on kegs and shit. But again, this is what Opie does because he doesn't want to be accused of trying to put effort into a real show and failing at it.
When I was young and learning how to perform on stage, when I was insecure about what I was singing, I would back away from the mic, right? It's a natural instinct. You don't want people to hear you. A sound guy will eventually come up to you if you keep doing that and say, you have to sing into the mic. You have to always sing into the mic. I know you think it sounds better when the bad parts are far away. It just makes everything sound bad. It'll sound better if you hit a wrong note while up to the mic. You have to hit the mic. He's still doing this. I'm insecure about hitting a wrong note, so I'll just make it so that you can't hear me. And I'm insecure about how I look, so I'll just make it that you can't see me. And you're spending all of this time and energy on editing these to look like a kid's TikTok, but every single one of your thumbnails looks exactly the same. How would I know to click on one and not the other? They're all just you blurry with this background and a lot of tiny words.
Another analogy that's actually similar to what we're seeing here with Opie. The first bass player in the Isotopes, our first shows, he had no confidence in his playing at all. He would not face the audience. He would face his amp with his back to the audience playing. And it's just like, yeah, we're trying to perform for these people. So if you could just kind of look at them, they can look at you. It'd be very helpful. But yeah, Opie's like got his back turned because of how stupid this setup is.
It's all insecurity. Just put the mic up to your mouth and say whatever bullshit you have.
So Grillo's telling this story about when a time that he was walking with Howard in Manhattan and how Howard handled that. And this gets Opie to do a Howard impression. And I have some thoughts on this impression.
So he was like, yo, it's gonna take me like an hour to get there.
Right.
So then Sony was kind of like around the block. And I just remember we were walking on the block and he was just like, whoo, whoo. Like and I was like, yeah. But there was like there was a bunch of us, and
Opie started doing the impression that Anthony does. I can't do a Howard Stern impression to save my life, but Anthony always do the Robin.
Yeah, hoo Robin. That's the thing. Yeah, he always does that bit.
And so Opie, and this is what Anthony was talking about on the show on Saturday we recorded with him, is that Opie doesn't have his own personality. He just steals from everyone he's ever talked to. And it's like, he does Ron Bennington, and then he does Anthony Cumia, and then he does his Bill Burr thing. And it's like, there isn't an Opie in there to be found.
It's
just
one thing to
else.
say that my old partner is, that we worked together for all these years, things I've said are in his head, and he actually thinks he said them first. That's
Right.
one accusation. This is... He was doing it while the guy was saying it. He was in the middle of doing the impression. And he had to interrupt him to do the same impression, but louder and more like a dog.
Now remember, this video is called, it's on Opie's channel. It's called Sniper Paranoia Exposed. So Opie's going to tell the story here, because Grillo didn't know anything about it, about the paranoia with the sniper.
But we actually sat in Howard Stern's studio in his fucking chair.
that chair I pushed around every goddamn day.
And this was told to me, I don't know how true it is, there was a giant window that Howard had covered for most of his time at K-Rock because he was scared of snipers.
We did. I know there was no. There were windows in this around.
Do you remember a giant window?
Well, it was covered.
Yeah, it was covered, and after he left, he has no idea what he was missing, by the way, because that window led to an apartment where girls would shower in the morning and get to see girls shower.
Yeah.
But he was so paranoid. It was told to me he was so paranoid of snipers that they covered the window because you could see right into that.
I don't remember specifically that story.
I don't know how true
I
it is.
wouldn't doubt it.
Someone at K-Rock, one of the old timers that was still there, told me that.
Yeah, like a couple of that. I still.
And that's how his video ends. That's not what I did. So remember, we were supposed to see how it was exposed. And it ends with, I'm not sure if that's true or not, because I don't know either. Someone just told me that. Also, I want to talk about this thing where they were watching girls shower in the morning. I don't know. I don't live in a high rise, but that seems like a terrible design. I don't see many showers that have an outdoor window as one of the walls of the shower. It seems like a really bad idea to do that. I don't believe that is my point.
You've never lived in the Big Apple, Carl.
That's true.
It's bullshit because he said girls. Maybe there was one apartment where they didn't close the blind. Okay. It wasn't multiple women coming in and out of this exposed.
It's not Porky's.
Yeah. What is he talking about?
It's not Revenge of the Nerds when they set up cameras inside.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And in the late 80s and the 90s, when you went after the religious right, you would have security. Anybody that was going after religion or abortion or certain things in aggressive ways, you had to have security. And I bet the company wanted there to be security so that they didn't hold responsibility for anything happened to Howard. It's paranoid stuff, but it's not crazy. He was the center of this and the kind of symbol of everything that was wrong in America for a long time. So I'm sure there were threats, and whether they were real or not, he's paranoid enough to just do something about it. I don't understand what the joke is. Like what Opie's going for.
But back to the naked showering woman, wasn't that a Seinfeld?
Oh, is that
Oh my God.
premise on Seinfeld?
I think Friends too.
Okay.
I think it was on both.
Maybe that's where he got it from.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point, Adam. Howard Stern was hated by a very powerful people, a large group of them too. So it wouldn't be crazy to be like, hey, can I not sit next to an exposed window while I'm doing a morning show that everyone knows I'm on from
That's
6
the
till
one
11?
place they know where they can find me, and the one, where I am
makes
every
sense.
day. Yeah.
I went to opieradio.com. I haven't been here in a while. I wanted to see what it was doing. Right on the homepage, autographed artwork. I forgot about this. Personalized autographed artwork signed and sent by Opie himself. Original photograph taken by Opie. Once order is received, Opie will sign and mail out signed photo. Choose personalized message at checkout. And the example, he has 2 different photos that he took. One of sunset on the beach. One of it looks like a farmhouse. And he wrote on there, "You rock, Creamy Butters. Thanks for listening, Opie." So did you know that you could order a signed Opie? They're calling it artwork. I would call it photography, but.
What's your P.O. box again, Carl?
Yes, please, guys. I'm going to need this on the wall behind me over here next to David Lee Roth and Bruce Springsteen.
Now, if Opie was taking requests on what to photograph, that would be cool. Like a whatchamacallit rapper or
How about a Puerto Rican on the toilet?
Dog shit in Manhattan. Someone's cleaning it up. Now, I saw this navigation that says donate to Opie Radio. It's like, what? He's asking for donations. Thankfully, this link is... Oh, now it goes to the store. No, it's broken. Okay. It's broken. Thank God.
Carl, I hate to disappoint you. I don't know if you noticed the warning there, but COVID-19 update. Fulfillment times are 15 days plus shipping times now.
Jesus Christ. No one's touched this website 5 years. Love You, Miss Ya is another navigation on here. So he's got Carl Ruiz. Videos are unavailable. Video's private. Might want to take a look at that. Vic Henley. And Patrice O'Neill. Love You, Miss Ya. Okay. Very good. What about the shop? Ope's all about the merchandise. Let's see what we can purchase from him. So we got the autographed artwork, first and foremost.
Yeah, it's good.
But these mugs and T-shirts that just say cheers.
Why would I care? I have so much going on.
This is my favorite shirt. I don't listen to Joe Rogan for medical advice. Good stuff. He's got him as like a South Park character or something.
Or a Funko Pop.
Yeah, a Funko Pop in his cool shades. He's got the Vic Henley famous quote, "I know, I know." You know, when Vic Henley would say, "I know, and everyone would like double over with laughter.
It was his get her done, right?
I have no idea. You dead, man. Hashtag Ruizing. And then he's got some other stupid shit. 0% vegetarian. He's got Ruizing. on a mug here.
Wait, 0% vegetarian because his audience is all aggressive meat eaters and like what is that?
Oh, that's a Carl
it's-
Ruiz
It's
thing.
Carl Ruiz.
Yeah, he used to say that. Liked his meat.
Okay.
Opie's got a lot of Carl Ruiz
You
merchandise.
wanted a deeper explanation than that, Adam?
No, I just don't know who his audience is. Like he think like it's meat eaters. That's who's gonna. I'm trying to figure out who's gonna wear this and who's gonna. Buy
Hold
it.
on. I just found a shirt that I would wear.
What's that?
Okay.
Hi,
Doggy.
doggy.
All right, let's get one of those.
Let's get one of those.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, he's
I
got
don't
a
think
shirt.
I don't think he's manufactured 1,000 of each of these. I think they just put up the mock-ups.
I know.
and
They
it's
make
made
them
to
when they-
order.
This is great. Hold on is one of the shirts because he would ruin segments by.
And he thinks someone's
Ending
gonna
them.
see someone wearing that and like point their finger and be like, "I'm with you, Opie. That's right." Oh,
And then the famous Boo tee. So that's Opie holding on to his Zoom recorder with Carl Ruiz. Like they used to go around and just record podcasts. And Carl would be like, boo. So that's a classic bit right there. Pretty good stuff. You guys want to check out some more videos that Opie puts up on his channel to show you how good his show is? These are the ones that he's curating himself and saying, if you ever want to check out my show, here's why. Here's some of the best stuff. This one is called The Wildest Smoking Story You'll Ever Hear.
Ooh, buckle up.
Right. This is the wildest one you'll ever hear.
I've
I
heard
guess
some
she was
wild
my aunt for a
stories.
while, but then she divorced my uncle, and then she wasn't my aunt anymore. She just said, I'm done with this family. And I was thinking to myself, but I like you. Where are you going? I'm splitting. I'll never see you again. Goodbye. Her father had one of the holes. Yeah, one of those holes in his, that where they scare the hell out of you on the TV. How about you don't put those commercials on TV? We get it. The people that still smoke, they get it. You're not gonna turn them. Her father at the time had one of these holes where you had to hold the hole and then talk and then go, and then he would talk some more. How are you kids doing? I'm scared, mister. Why are you scared? It's okay. I can still function this way. Could you grab me my Marlboros? And I'm like, what? The Marlboros are on the kitchen counter. Can you go get them more?
So he's the one who puts the text on the screen, like you were saying, Adam, like a TikTok video. And of course, it's just AI doing it. So it's saying bar barrels when they're saying Marlboros, which is an important element of this, that the guy who's got the trachea thing is asking for his cigarettes. This is what
Can't
makes
fix
it
that.
wild.
can't fix it.
No, there's no way to fix that. Just let it go.
Oh my God, this guy, it was like a horror show. This is the God's honest truth. And then he would light up and he would smoke through the goddamn hole. I never saw anything like it in my life. It was crazy.
I mean, keep telling us that. Maybe it'll make it true. What a clip. That's the wildest smoking story I've ever. I mean, have you ever heard of anything like that before? Except for all the time, forever?
It's pretty wild.
Pretty wild stuff, Opie.
This is why I love the Dabbleverse, because it was wild in one way. Like, it wasn't wild, but it was clearly traumatic. Like,
Yes.
whatever you rushed through in the beginning there, Opie, about people abandoning you and you just not dealing with it in any way. I hate to get all psychoanalytical, but it's like this guy just said a lot of really awful, horrible stuff in a kid sing-songy voice, and you could
And
just...
then my aunt, she left because she didn't like my family, and I liked her.
Okay, Opie, we're glad you came into the office, but we want to ask you why you're saying all this in that voice. Can we try it again? Just,
Right.
Let's connect to it and
How
not...
would Greg the adult explain this to me?
Exactly, right.
If he were here right now.
You just see his wife next to him, you know? You see her like looking at him and then looking at the therapist and just not saying a word, and being
Be
like,
like,
there it
see?
is.
See what I'm talking about?
He's like this
This
all
is
the
why we left
time.
him.
All right, I have one more clip. Again, this is a video that Opie put up himself. This is the Opie Unleashed NYC channel. And so he's curating this content to promote his show. This is called Words Women Hate. Now, if you're pulling clips from WATP, or let's say WATS, because we started doing that now My buddy Casey Day is helping us out. We're putting out some clips. Mike and I are talking about Woke Dad or King Cobra or something, and we have the clips out there. It's a specific segment. We're on topic. We're talking about a specific thing, and it lasts a certain amount of time. Opie's trying to recreate this guy. A lot of people do. It's not just me, obviously. Opie's trying to recreate this. So he's like, all right, what's the interesting part of this hour-long stream that I did? Here it is.
Can you say moist again? Yeah, I could say moist. Women hate the word. Well, you know what word they hate? The atom bomb. You know, as soon as you use the C word on a lady, you got to pack your things. It's over, Johnny. You can't say the C word and they go, hey, so you want to go get some sushi? Moist is another one they hate. Oh, boy, do they hate the word moist. Oh, my God. Moist, 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 moist. Can you say...
That was it. That was the entire video. 32 seconds. That was a big topic he had on the show. Hey, can you cut up that part when I was talking about things that women don't like the word moist and the C word? Sure, Opie. I'll get right on that. We'll make a clip for your channel.
He doesn't realize that nobody wants to hear him talk about what women really want.
Yeah, I don't think he's the authority on this one, but that was that's what he puts out. Oh, how many views does that have, I wonder? 174 in 9 days. Oof. It might be the hashtags because he wrote hashtag wordplay. Was there wordplay in that?
Moist.
Hashtag comedy podcast, hashtag funny moments.
Try to figure out what the C word is.
It's crazy.
He accuses other people of being sexist and offensive, and this is the stuff that women don't want to hear from you. No one wants to hear it from you, but specifically, what would make you an expert on this topic? Like, who were you coming in contact with?
You're not getting it, Adam. It's hilarious. It's a morning radio banter.
You're right.
Do you like candy corn on Halloween? I mean, it's just the fucking most basic takes ever. Like, you know the girls that like the C word? Yeah. Yep. Learned that one.
Yeah, learned it
You
very
like
early
black
on.
licorice? Whoa.
So stupid.
Who are these podcasts? WATP.